Hey everybody, this is the LEGO Star Wars Darth Vader Pod, a gift with purchase promotional free item for April 2018. It was originally supposed to be a 2017 40th anniversary Star Wars pod, but they made a bunch of them and evidently they all had a boo-boo. They all had a mistake with them, so they had to remake it and it took them a while to bring them back to market. The pod itself is much cooler than I thought it would be because this has the print on the front with the two logos, but then those logos are in front of the Death Star lasers, basically just pointing right at you. And as you angle this, the forward logos, the Lego and Star Wars logos, go away. It's one of those double prints with the little lenses built into it, gives you that little bit of kind of holographic style effect. Unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way to the other image with the other logos missing, but it's still cooler than I thought it would be. And then the material itself, the paint, or actually the coating that they have on this is kind of metallic in a way. I thought it was just going to be gunmetal gray, but it's much shinier than that. It's very glossy, and it actually has the exact same appearance as the mineral hematite. If you're familiar with that, it's some places, gift shops and things for just random places may have little things that look like rocks, but they're slightly metallic. This has exactly that sort of look. It's like I don't know if it's a color that Lego itself has used before. I know they've done something before they called a black chrome or a dark chrome. This is similar to that, but I haven't seen any official pieces made with that material in the past. But it's just cooler than I thought it would be. When you open it up, they try to give you a little bit of a scene, which is a really nice thing to do with a pod. You rotate this down, gives you a little bit of a walkway, and this is intended to be one of the hallways of the blockade runner, the Tantive 4 from A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie. Hence the connection to the 40th anniversary that they were trying to go for originally. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So they show one of the the entrance ways over here. They also have a holder for the lightsaber, and over here on the minifig pedestal, we'll take a closer look at the figure in a minute, of course. But they've got an actual recreation of that hall. I don't think it's a photograph. I think it's a CG recreation, but it looks pretty good. It's nice and clean, and it's intended to kind of go with this. It's kind of showing you that this is one end of the hall, and this is the other end of the hall, and of course it goes with Darth Vader and everything. And over on this side, they have two printed tile pieces. The 1x2 here is fairly common, and then the 1x1 is a little less common, and I'm more happy to get that. But a nice little build. This is a good quality version of Darth Vader they include here, not a super cheap version for the free giveaway. Still, the helmet looks, the modern day helmet looks good from the front and a little questionable from the side with the extension. No matter how accurate it may be, still always looks like he's looking up like this. And, the original mold had been around for so long that it's always going to be hard for folks to kind of accept something that is so new and so different when we're so used to the original. I'm still used to the original, even if this looks great from the front. It's a little bit jarring just from the sake of, or just from the perspective of nostalgia and familiarity, but really good prints on the front there. You see the metallic prints on there, and this one has unlike many of the recent lightsaber hilts, this one has a well-printed, well-painted lightsaber hilt. It's the bright metallic silver color. It's painted on to the piece, but a lot of the ones that I've gotten in the past 6 months to a year in other sets have had just little fine speckles of paint. It just wasn't covered completely. This one is covered completely, and it looks good. It's one of the best looking that I've seen in a while, and I even got a completely clear, bubble-less lightsaber blade there, so that's all good looking. On the back here, no print. That's surprising, but I'm 100% okay with it, because Darth Vader needs his cape. So most of the time you're not going to see the back of that, so they didn't waste money and time printing the back of it, and yeah, I'm fine with that. Underneath the helmet, this is weird. This is the the Darth Vader transformation version of Vader here, the whole thing really, but the inclusion of that head is strange for this particular set to me, because this is a Revenge of the Sith era view of Vader, whereas they put him into a New Hope setting. So yeah, it's like a young Vader here, whereas it should have been a much older Vader. Good figure. The prints on the head, front and back, I think are very, very good. And again, of course, the prints on the torso, hip and legs are great. Altogether good. Looks good just like this. Maybe even less controversial than this, but just not the most appropriate connection between scene and figure version. The gift with purchase value threshold for this one, in other words, how much you had to buy in order to get this as a free gift, was $60 in the US, and of course it always varies by region, and that does not mean that you have to pay $60 to get just this pod. You pay $60, and it was of Star Wars stuff in particular. You pay $60 or more for Star Wars stuff. You get $60 or more worth of Star Wars stuff. You get what you pay for. You also get this as a free gift. So as a free gift, a lot of people make the argument that you actually have to pay for it anyway, because they kind of factor in the price of all these free gifts into the retail prices of everything. It's a penny, if that, if even a penny on each product. So it's not something that we ever see. If you have to say we pay a penny, then there you go. We pay a penny for this. All of us do. But it's effectively a free gift with purchase. They didn't have to do the promotion. I like it. They could have just pocketed that penny on each item that they sell otherwise. I like it. I appreciate even the pod, surprisingly. The little build inside, the little scene inside is kind of cool. Most of these pods have been kind of forgettable to me, except for the inclusion of the figure. The figure alone is a nice gift. Could have been done as just a small basic poly bag. Inclusion of these extra pieces is great, and the inclusion of a collectible and possibly displayable pod is better still. Strange that they chose a Revenge of the Sith Vader to put into a New Hope scene, but still, it's a free gift, and it's cool. So there you go. That's my look at it. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.